not sure if you've noticed, but sometimes our roads can be a bit of a war zone. And dash cams have gone from a nice to have to a necessity for a lot of people. They can provide key evidence for crashes and on-road disputes. Think of it as a trusty passenger who sees everything. But if the video quality sucks or you don't have the right camera angles, then it's almost pointless. So today I'm going to test out this new 4K camera. It's a Vueroid S1 4K Infinite. It's a 2-camera system. I'm gonna check out all of the features, take a close look at the video quality, and see if this thing is worth buying. All right, so every year, over 6 million crashes occur in the US alone, with over 40,000 people dying on our roads yearly. It's a huge problem. Almost everyone knows at least one person that was hurt in a car wreck, and the aftermath of those crashes often results in insurance claims and a bunch of people pointing fingers. That is, unless you have a very good dash cam. Now, obviously, having a dash cam won't help you avoid collisions. Only a concerted effort to drive more defensively can help you avoid crashes. But if you are involved in a wreck or you witness one, having a quality dash cam is an invaluable tool to collect evidence and to help determine fault. Now, generally, my opinion is that more cameras equals more better, and this Vueroid S1 4K Infinite is available as a 1, 2, and 3 camera system, and I have the 2-camera system right here. All right, so today we'll unbox what we have here. We'll take a close look at the features, perform a simple install, look at the video quality, and come up with our verdict. Now, if you're interested in buying this Vueroid S1, you can use my discount code and link in the description below, but don't do that just yet. Let's first see if we like everything here. All right, let's see what we got here. Got a nice looking blue box here. Let's see what's in here. Okay, we got the instructions. Here is the main camera. We'll look at that more closely in a second. Here is the rear camera. Trim removal tool, some more sticky pads, a very long cable right here, which appears to be for the rear camera. This is your extension cable for that rear camera. So this is your cable if you want to, I guess, directly wire it to your car battery. And here is the cable if you want to just plug it into your 12-volt cigarette lighter. One last cable, USB-C. Oh, look, they give you a little lens adapter. It probably is like a filter. Probably helps with glare and reflections and that kind of thing. And also a little lens cleaner. Now they also sent me a micro SD card, but these are gonna be sold separately. All right, there you have it. All right, so let's talk about the features and specs. So here on this main unit, we've got this 2.3-inch display, and you've got these buttons down here to control the camera's functions. It definitely feels very solidly built. This is where you put your SD card. Yeah, overall, looks pretty nice, relatively compact. Unlike some other cameras, the mount is actually built into the camera, and you can adjust the position of the camera right here. So if you actually want to remove the camera, it's a little bit more difficult than some of the systems where the mount stays and the camera comes off. So this front camera shoots at 4K with a max of 60 frames per second, and it gives you a 151-degree view. So this secondary camera shoots at 1080p, a maximum of 30 frames per second. That does go down to 15 frames per second if you have the front camera set to 60 frames per second. So there's a bit of a trade-off there. We've also got GPS here, so it should record your driving route and speed, syncing it to the video. And of course, you'll need a micro SD card, and this camera accepts cards up to 512 gigabytes. I have a 256 card right here, which should be sufficient. And if you use this cable to hardwire your camera to your car's battery, you can take advantage of the low power parking mode. It's got a time-lapse mode or an impact mode. Now with the impact mode, it records within 1 second if it detects an impact. It also has geofence settings to turn off parking mode for certain areas, such as your garage at home. And like a lot of cameras, there's an app, so you can use Wi-Fi and connect to the app to download videos. Also, before you get started, it's a pretty good idea to update the firmware. It was a pretty easy process. Welcome to the interior of my 2000 Toyota Will VI. I imported this vehicle from Japan a few months back, and if you're looking at it and you have no idea what it is, don't worry, not many people know what this car is. It was very rare in Japan, and there's even fewer here in the United States. So I've got a few cars in my driveway, and my plan is to use this camera in multiple vehicles, just kind of switch it from one car to the other when I need it. So I'm not going to do an in-depth professional install here. If you've got a dash cam that you really like, it's really not too difficult to find ways to hide the cables and wires underneath trim pieces and hardwire this to the power of your car. Any car stereo shop can do that in under an hour, and it's usually not too pricey. But I'm not going to do that here. There will be some cables dangling when I'm driving this thing, but that just gives me the flexibility to move it from car to car. So if you're doing this, the install is going to be actually quite easy. It has this 3M sticky tape on the back. Now, I'm not gonna stick it directly to my windshield. Separately, I purchased these electrostatic stickers that go on your windshield, so that way, if you do put something like this on there, it's not gonna get really stuck and leave a bunch of gooey residue all over the place. So this little piece of plastic right here should hopefully help with that. So my first step, like I said, this is sold separately, is to put this where I want the camera to go on the windshield. And obviously you gotta make sure that your windshield is clean when you do this. I'm gonna put this right here in the middle. Next step, peel off the little 3M sticky tape right here. So now this is the moment of truth. You don't wanna mess this up, so let's put this up there. Okay, there we go. Probably press and hold for like 30 seconds maybe. All right, so the next step is to provide some power to this camera. Now, if you're gonna do a sort of temporary install like I am, you'll use this 12-volt adapter, but they also provide the hardwiring adapter right here, which will allow you to have this directly connected to your fuse box, which will allow the parking mode, but I'm not gonna have this set up like that, so I won't have the benefits of the parking mode. But it is really nice to have that feature if that's what you want out of this camera. All right, this is easy enough. They give you this big, long cable, plug it into the power right here, and then plug it into the 12-volt power source down here. All right, so let's get to this secondary camera. Now, they do give you this very long extension cable that you actually have to use. You gotta plug these in together so that way you can connect this to that camera right there. Now this car actually has a very non-standard rear window. It actually slopes inward, which is probably not something that Vueroid was thinking about when they designed this. So we'll have to see if this will work back there. So let's plug this in and see if we can get it connected. Also, keep in mind that there is a 3-channel version of this camera setup, which would include another camera that I would assume you could use for the interior of the car. So this just plugs in right here at the top. Middle jack is for the rear camera. So again, this is just gonna be kind of dangled throughout my car as I test this, but it wouldn't be very difficult to hide this cable. All right, let's send this cable in the back and let's get this back camera set up. All right, so here we are in the back of my weird car, and as you can see, this rear window kind of slopes in a very odd direction, but this camera does give you some flexibility in terms of how you're positioning the camera. So theoretically, you could use it in like a pickup truck where, you know, you have a very flat rear window. So what I'm gonna do is place this at the very top and hope for the best. Once again, I've got this electrostatic sticker. It's gonna go right here in the center. I'm gonna place this camera right here in the center. All right, it's been about 30 seconds. Let's get this plugged in. There we go. I think that should do it. All right, let's go back up front, make sure everything turns on, and then we can go get some test footage. All right, so let's turn on the accessory. Okay, started recording, that's good. Now, obviously there's quite a few settings here. You can easily navigate the preferences here. All right, so now that I confirmed everything is working properly, let's go drive this thing and get some footage. Okay, so this is the view from the front camera during the daytime. It's sunny out and everything looks very clear here. Let's see if we can make out some of these license plates. This one's about a car length ahead. Zoom in and yeah, you can read that one. But you get a few lanes away and the license plates are not really legible anymore. But still extremely easy to tell the makes and models. Okay, so let's check out the rear camera. And remember that this one shoots at 1080p. Let's see if we can see some license plates. This car is over a lane about a car length back, and yeah, it's a little bit blurry, but you can still make out the license plate. Get a little bit further back though, and it's really not easy to read. And once again, easy to tell what kind of car this is. And how about some night footage? Can we determine makes and models, and what about license plates? And those streaks that you're seeing, it's not the camera doing that, it's actually my windshield. It's a couple scratches in it. Yeah, it seems like at most angles, it's pretty easy to determine makes and models. Easy to read the license plates out front, though off-axis license plates, if you're moving, those can be blurry. When you're stopped, it seems to be fine. Now, how about the view out the back at night? License plates are still pretty easy to read, even when the lights are shining into the camera. Overall, yeah, there's really good video quality here. It's nice to have a 4K camera in this setup. It's easy to determine makes and models of cars and see most major details of locations. But if you absolutely need an interior view, you'll have to opt for Vueroid's 3-camera setup, which will cost you a bit more. All right, so I was just about to download the Vueroid app so I could get some footage off of this camera, and you'll notice that there's a bunch of Vueroid apps, like 7 of them, and it seems like maybe the Vueroid Hub app is the preferred one, so we're gonna download that. Right here is playback. So that's all the clips that have been recorded. So pretty easy, click on one and then hit download, and then it downloads it to my phone. Obviously, if you wanted to, you could take the SD card out of the camera and just bring it over to your computer, which is probably what I'm gonna end up doing, but it's nice to see that this works pretty easily. All right, so what does this all cost? The Vueroid S1 4K Infinite 2-camera bundle comes in at $379.99. And that might seem a bit pricey, but if you do ever get in a wreck, having detailed video evidence could potentially save you a lot more than the asking price. So what do you think of this dash cam? I'm pretty happy with it, though I think I'd probably want the 3-camera version so there's a bit more coverage around the car. But overall, it's a pretty good setup with very good video quality, and I'm glad that I finally have some high quality footage of my daily drives. Now, if you want to buy one of these Vueroid dash cams, be sure to use the discount code and link I have in the description below. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon. If you'd like to help support the channel, please buy a HelloRoad t-shirt or hat at helloroad.tv/shop. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're well, and I'll see you soon. There we have busted up old Altima driving illegally in the bus lane. That's on brand.